Hey, what's up? Congratulations for making this far. I'm Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer. This is my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach coding and user interface design. Before we get into this one, let me just share with you some few things that I think you have learned, but without learning them. I understand it's crazy. Okay, these are the things that are very important that you must take note of that we have already did up to now, but obviously maybe because of their simplicity in style you might not really notice them. Okay, now as we were busy developing this system, there is a word that I usually quoted or said a lot, where I said let's mock things up. For instance, now I can't remember exactly where, but if you've been following you might remember that we did that. Oh, okay, now I remembered. This is where I've used the word thank God. Okay, if we refresh our page, as you can see that because of it thinks that we are not logged in yet, it presents the login screen. What we did in the previous videos, we used to come here and act as if this session has got something. This is what we did. I hope you know or you remember this. We will type anything here. I typed Matthew. This is mocking up. This is acting as if this has been done. This is more like making things easier for you in the development phase. So if you've heard about this and obviously you've taken it light, now I'm trying to say put an emphasis, drill it into your mind. It is very important. You must, as you are developing program, be able to mock things up. So design your program in such a way that you don't really have to code everything from the beginning. For instance, before we test if this session functionality and the if else is working, we didn't have to really go to the session and log in details before we use this. What we've did, we have just mocked this input or whatever. So that is very important. So as we continue, we still gonna deep dive into mocking things up. How does mocking things up help you? Let me put this into perspective. Now we are about to design or start the login functionality, meaning that when we click here, this button is supposed to respond. How is it going to respond? It's supposed to communicate with the server, send some information and get back the information. So as it's continuing with PHP or the back end, do you mean that we are supposed to go and create a database in the back end and create some classes, connection classes, the classes that are going to connect to the database, use PDO just for us to only test if we can connect to the database with this login button? No, that's too much. And then how are we going to solve that problem? We need to mock things up. So we are going to create in the back end a certain class that will act as a response from the database. So basically that's the idea, that's the term of mocking things up. Maybe some people might call it wishful programming, or I'm not sure if this word exists in the English dictionary, assumptive programming. Most of the things you have to assume that are there so that you cannot concentrate on them at the moment, and then mock up the data as if the data comes there so that you will cross the bridge when you get there. Enough talking, let's just dive deep into it. Okay, so what we want to do now, guys, we want this guy to communicate to the back end just to test the communication. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to go to the login JavaScript file, and then when we click here, this JavaScript file need to communicate with the PHP file, and that PHP file needs to send back some information, and this JavaScript needs to display that information. If it's not that clear, let's just jump straight into code. Okay, we're here on Visual Studio Code. We don't want to mock this because we want the system to really think that we are not logged in yet. Okay, as we have said before, that we have only one point of entry to the system, and that is index. So there is no other file that we can point to from the user interface. only this one. So what we are going to do, we are just going to echo echo, let's say, content from the index.php page. Okay, and then we are going to die. Okay, now we are dead. We are zombies. We don't exist. We don't have life in us. That's a joke. We can't be dead. Let's continue. So this die, it just means that terminate the script. So the only thing that this index will be doing, it will be only echoing this statement, and that's it. Let's test that. As you can see now, we are not going to display even this. As you can see that the user interface is gone. This is the only thing that we get. So that's what this index is doing now at the moment. But however, let's just remove it. Let's just remove this, save the program, let Google Chrome load the UI for us, and then we will just put it back, and then we comment it, or we can uncomment it at the same time. Okay, now let's jump straight to login. Okay, now we are here on login. Remember on the previous video, obviously this is what we did. We assigned some information from the text input, the data from the text input into this variable, and also we were testing if this is empty, then alert the username is empty, and then return. What we need to do, we just need to test if does that happen, so that in case it doesn't happen, then we know that that script is not functioning or it's not being called. As you can see that enter username, I'm happy with that. So we are on the same page. So what we want to do, we have validated the password, and then please enter the password, and it's going to return. Let's just quickly validate for, okay, this is validating for the username. Let's just validate for the password also. That means we can't continue with empty username and empty password. Okay, please enter a password. Okay, we're done with that. We're not going to go to Chrome to just only test this. Now once we are done with that, let's say we are continuing. Now we want to connect to the back end. Okay, this is how we are going to do that. We are going to type a $, and then say post, and then open the curly braces, and then let's terminate this part, this function. Okay, what we want to do, the first parameter of this is the URL. How nice it is to have a single point of entry. What is nice about it is that we can always write here index.php with no stress. If we were having multiple entries to our system, that will mean if maybe we want to go to a PHP script that is inside this JS for some reason, we will always have to type here, let's say app data /JS/ whatever php.php. In doing this, like in most cases, you will sometimes forget an F or whatever. You might make a lot of mistakes. So single point of entry brings some sort of a peace of mind, because whenever we want to connect to the server, we always just type this. This is very, very simple to type. If we want, we might even create a global variable that will hold this, and then we just put that variable here. But for now, let's just put this index.php until you get the syntax and whatever. We'll modify it later. So the first parameter of this post function is index, where you want to go. This is a URL where you want to go, the directory or the path to the sorry about that, the path to the script that will serve you to. In our case, this is the script that will save us, and it will just render this, and this is what we will get back. Okay, once we are done with that, comma, obviously when you are asking something from someone, you have to some sort of communicate with them. You can't just ask silently. So at some point, if we want something from this index, we must bring it something. We must say, look, this is what we are bringing and this is what we want, something like that. Okay, so in our case for now, we are just going to bring let's say what are we going to bring? Let's say username. Let's say we are just identifying ourselves. You know, you can't ask for a favor from someone whereas you are anonymous. It's like you are wearing a balaclava. Somebody might feel like you are a stranger or a robber. So we are just telling we are just trying to be nice to the index page, to the server, to say that okay, at least we are going to give you who we are, our name. So let's say we are saying to this guy, I am Matthew, or let's just say coded design. I'm not that important. We don't have to always write my name. Let's say coded design, one word, the name of our channel. Okay, so this is the script that we want to communicate with. These are the some sort of the parameters. These are the things that the script will use to make some decisions. So for now, for the sake of testing and making things simpler for you, I will just say that we are sending the coded design, this name, to the server. And then what else? Then we need a function, a callback function. Okay, this function will receive data. Okay, and then from then people format this post functionality differently. It's easier if what we can do, we can just make sure that we click here, so that things can be easier to see. Okay, let's look at how it is now. Number one, this is the first argument. Okay, comma, we press enter. This is a JSON string or JSON file. This is a JSON string from here to here. This is a JSON string. If you want to add another name, let's just say username, the password. I don't know why we might want the password there, because this PHP script has to decide if the password is right or the password is wrong. Let's just write the password is password for now. So as you can see that this is the normal JSON string. If you don't know what a JSON string is, you can please Google it for now. Okay, there's something that formats my code here, and this is how it wants things to be done. Okay, let's just give up for now. We are not going to die. Okay, so this is the link to the script that we want to handle. What this is the script that we are interested in getting response from, and then this is the information that we are sending to it. And then when that is done, this script will send something to us, and it will be cached by this data variable, and then we can alert what we have received from the server. One might ask why sometimes when I'm declaring a variable, I'm using a $sign and say data, and sometimes I just declare, for some reason I just put data as it is, and nothing happened and everything works. Okay, jQuery, the one that uses this $sign, has been built out of JavaScript. So JavaScript doesn't have a problem with assigning something to this name, to this variable name, and then alerting it without the $sign. So when you are typing JavaScript, typing jQuery, even if in the midst of jQuery you can type vanilla or proper JavaScript without jQuery, everything will work. So that's why this thing works this way. Okay, Let's just recap to see if we have done our work properly, so that we can just erase those unnecessary errors and mistakes. You know, when you are programming, more especially when you are explaining and talking a lot like me, chances are you might make mistake. When this button is clicked, we are taking username to this variable, password to this variable. Okay. And then also we are testing if it's empty. If it's empty, alert this return. It means terminate the script, don't continue. And then we're testing for that. So if we are here on line 20, it means that we know that the inputs were not empty. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then we are communicating to the server. This is the path to a PHP file that we want to communicate with, and then we are trying to be nice to it. We are telling the script that we are coded design and this is our password. Okay, and then from then, when this guy responds, when he is kind enough to talk to us, we are hoping he will be, and then we will catch that response and then we will display it on screen. Voila, let's just save and see. Refresh. Okay, unfortunately the guy is kind, but our code is preventing us from even loading the user interface. Let's comment this first, comment that first, so that we can load the user interface. When we have loaded the user interface, then let's go back and uncomment it. So that means when whatever UI wants to access this index, now this is the message that is going to get. So let's go there, and then let's first just to make sure that we are on the same level, let's just type here without nothing, please enter the username. Then let's say our username is coded, and then let's log in. Suppose it asks for a password and it doesn't, and we are not sure, it's not responding, it's not telling us what's going on. At this point in time, we don't know who to blame. Is it JavaScript? Is it HTML? Is it PHP? We are not sure at the moment. Let's just quickly check what might be the problem. Do we have any errors here? No errors. Let's just click. As you can see, no red messages. That will mean let's check our coding and see what we have done. Okay, our program does reach this stage. It can test if this username is empty, and then it can alert. After that, can it test if this password is empty? This password is this password, txt password.val. Okay, alert, please enter password and then return. Okay, let's see. How are we going to solve this problem? Okay, what we can do first, let's just check this txt password if it's txt password also here. Txt password, I'm going to copy it as it is in case for the spelling mistakes. Copy it as it is and then paste it here. Okay, I think it's the same thing. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to, when everything is done in terms of the username, I want to alert the password. Okay, I want to alert the password, so that will mean for now we have to comment this. We have to comment this, and then let's just refresh and see. Okay, remove this and remove that. Please enter username. Please enter username. I'm happy with that. I'm coded username. Okay, let's see. Okay, for some reason, let me just type the password and check. Okay, for some reason we don't continue. Okay, let's just read things slowly. Okay, We are assigning the username, we're assigning the password. Yes. Okay, let's see what are we doing wrong. If the username is empty, do this. That means if it's not empty, you are supposed to jump out of this. You are not going to terminate and continue, but for some reason the program doesn't continue. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, let me just alert password and see. Okay, let me just alert password and see. Okay, let me just delete this. Let me just comment this. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm just alerting password, and that is it. And that's the only thing that I do. I'm alerting password, and then let's see. Okay, it looks like I can alert password. The other thing that I can do, let me just go here and refresh my cookies just to make sure that the browser has been refreshed. Okay. Okay, let's just go back again. Okay, this is very strange. Document.ready, login, and click btn. Yes, username.var. Okay, to me this looks fine. Let me just alert a general message. Okay, let me ask this program, is it testing me or I'm testing it? Now I'm not sure. I'm a bit confused. I used to think I'm testing the program, but it looks like the program is testing me. Yeah, now we are getting you, program, because now I'm getting serious, and you can see that I'm going to be angry and I'm going to get you. Now we are starting to work. Are you testing me? Okay, that means we can display this information. Let's try to display this one. Okay, let's try to display this password and see, because we are running out of time. But it's interesting that now we are getting the password. Maybe I was supposed to do this refresh. Maybe that was the case, because based on what I did, I see no difference between what I did before and what I've done now. However, let's just test also this username so that we can just continue smoothly. Okay, we can get the username and we can get the password. That's not a problem. What we will do, we will validate the input on the next video. Yeah, we will validate the input on the next video. What we are going to do, let's quickly test if we are winning with what we wanted to do before. Okay, reset. Now I'm going to reset things off only. Okay, let's just see. That means we can get something back from the server. This is what the server gives us. Does this look familiar? Does this rings a bell? If it doesn't, let me show you what is it. Here is it. Warning, warning, walla walla walla, and that's it. Okay, so as you can see that the server responded with all this page as it is. So that means, number one, what we are happy with is that we are managing to connect to the server, to that PHP file, and that PHP file is responding. So in the next video we will do some cleanup, because as you can see that by default this PHP file is responding with everything that it has, and we don't want that. We want it to only respond with what we want it to respond with. For instance, when we click this button, we want this script to test for us if these login details are valid. So now if it's going to respond to us and give us the whole HTML document with whatever, of which this is what it's giving us, and it's not wrong, then this is a problem. So in the next video we are going to deal with that. Just a hint, I'm just gonna hint you and give you the idea of some sort of a green light as to what is the problem. The problem that we have here, it's our enemy. It's what we've been fighting for. It's a separation of concern. The reason why this is happening is because this index page is doing a lot of things. This means that it has got the HTML, which is the user interface, a view kind of data or tags or HTML, and at the same time it has got what? It has got PHP. It's making some decision. So it means that this challenges us to clean our code a little bit, to apply the single responsibility principle. This index must only do one thing and one thing only. At the moment it has got an HTML, and also it has got the PHP. So it's making some decision, and also it's attempting to embed some HTML, and that's a problem. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer, thank you so much for watching this video up to this far. Otherwise, please do me a favor and don't forget to just hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one.